Hello there! If you're wondering what happened to my face, feel free to click the link in the top corner of my video to find out what exactly happened so you don't have to ask me the question in the comments section of this video. Thanks! The rest of you, follow me. So, new racism just dropped. Again. But this time they made absolutely sure to make sure that this definition was inclusive enough to include the Holocaust. I know, right? Very progressive, aren't they? Because somehow, in the hustle and the bustle of accusing people of being alt-right racist neo-Nazis, we, and by we, I mean, of course, the progressive leftist media, so not we in the royal sense, forgot about one of the core atrocities to come out of the Third Reich during the height of the Second World War. The war against the Jewish population centered around the belief that German Aryans were the superior race, and resulting in the systematic devastation of all other perceived inferior races in the pursuit of the purest Mecha Hitler anime art. Many lives were lost, many people died, many families were ripped apart, their cultures stolen from them, melted down, repurposed, hidden away, never to be seen again by those people. They overlooked that tiny little footnote in history when they attempted to redefine racism over on the ADL website. You know, the ADL, the so-called Central Authority on All Things Hate, whose expressed stated mission is to, and I kid you not, stop the defamation of the Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all. I kid you not, that was the first result when I googled ADL today, writing this video. It went from racism is the belief that a particular race is superior or inferior to another, that a person's social and moral traits are predetermined by his or her inborn biological characteristics. Racial separation is the belief, most of the time based on racism, that different races should remain segregated and apart from one another. 2. Racism, the marginalization and or oppression of people of color based on a socially constructed racial hierarchy that privileges white people. The ADL forgot that you could be racist against minorities who were not obviously minorities. They forgot that when they released a new definition of racism on or around sometime between July and August of 2020, according to the Wayback Machine archives. That definition notably removed from its victim pool anyone who dared be born with a skin tone north of beige on the color card palette, which, emphatically, disincludes a great deal of the Jewish population. So the initial redefining of the definition of racism, of course, had a plethora of implications and left a number of people with questions. Questions such as, what is it called when a person of color is racist against another person of color? But the fallout took some time to get here. As we saw this week, Whoopi Goldberg took the ball and absolutely ran with it, espousing this logic on national television in view of the nation's housewife population.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
It's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's about
but
going
it's
after
not, it's
Jews
not about
and
race.
gypsies
But these are two
Romas.
white groups of people.
Well, they go after black
They
people
don't see them as white
And they
people.
go
But you're
after
missing the
homosexuals.
point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other. So is it, if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, I don't wanna be like that.
To be fair, I get the sentiment behind it. This is not the most egregious thing that she could have ever said. In fact, this is quite tame compared to certain other circles and what they have to say. However, as everyone who has ever studied history will tell you, the Germans emphatically saw the issue as a race against race issue. Sure, we can talk about man-on-man's inhumanity to each other, but that doesn't eliminate the very real factor that race relations, racial supremacy over others played in the Holocaust. It doesn't. She said this.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. But these are two white groups of people.
Well, how do we have to black people
see them as white people?
But you're missing the point.
With her full chest and all the authority of the Anti-Defamation League backing her, who, least we forget, again, had greenlit this new and improved and contemporary definition for all of our peasant eyes. And she was immediately met with all of the backlash from the people. And so that's how we get here today, with a new definition of racism by the ADL. And I'm pretty sure, if interim means what I think it means, it is currently being workshopped around by the ADL as we speak. So this is just a temporary definition. No need to take it seriously. What is words anyway if they can just be redefined on a whim? Oh boy. I don't even want to delve into the implications of that kind of nonsense. Who knows where they'll settle on the matter? In the meantime, we can talk about the fact that this is not the first time people would seek to retrofit the past to fit into our neat little modern sensibilities, is it? Every season, we seem to cycle through a round of cancellations where a judgment has been made and a sentence passed down upon some long-dead famous figure from history because they didn't live up to our modern understandings of what is and is not moral in their lifetime. Take your pick of the lot. We have authors, politicians, actors, artists. Their statues are toppled, their municipal buildings renamed, their books banned. Simultaneous to that, I do pity the fool who would suggest we judge other contemporary cultures that happen to be third world by our Western modern standards, because you will get accused of imperialization, colonization, being ignorant about viewing another culture and viewing it through a Western lens. Hashtag all cultures are beautiful. Yes, even the ones that refuse to condemn marital rape, boys and girls, don't you know? Until, of course, we're talking about anime or art of any kind, and then suddenly the girls, they be fighting. Oftentimes, it is by far the loudest voices in the discussion about race and oppression awareness that are the most obsessed with a person's skin color, and who tend to cause the greatest damage. In the Halloween special last year, I featured a few girls on TikTok who had the nerve to be born with the wrong combination of skin color and hair type, and how they had to essentially navigate this world, toe the line carefully between doing what was right for their natural hair and appeasing the racial segregationists who think that your skin has to have a certain melanin content in order to have a certain hairstyle, or suffer the wrath of braiding while white.
No matter how much I brush it out, does immediately just want to dread or lock itself. It's always has since I was a child. And I kind of contemplate getting locks or locking my hair, and I don't know if that is appropriate because, like I said, super white passing, don't know if it's fair, don't know.
Later in that video, another TikToker from China addressed accusations of Asian fishing in her TikTok because she looked just white enough.
I get Asian fishing comments way more than I expected on this app, and I think there's two layers to that. How people coined the word Asian fishing to mean specifically East Asian fishing when there's West Asians that exist. This is Asia. I don't know, Russia's debatable, but all this is Asia. And I think East Asian fishing specifically kind of includes Southeast Asians as well, because the beauty standards are set here, which is East Asia. And I'm Chinese. I'm born and raised in China, and I'm from this part of China. China's huge, you know? So obviously my features are not gonna look like the same people that live here.
And there are countless other examples of other TikTokers being accused of being white or white passing, like it's a condemnation against them.
I don't like to respond to obvious trolls, but every so often I get advanced race scientists coming into my comments and telling me that I'm not actually Asian. So I'm just gonna say this once for the record. I'm mixed race. It's not a secret that I'm mixed race. More specifically, I'm Hafu, or half Japanese. And before anybody tries to come into my comments and tell me that I'm white passing or whatever, you're entitled to your personal perception, but as a person who has to walk around in this body every day, I know that I don't really pass for white. Am I racially ambiguous? Sure. But I don't really read as white. In the United States, where I currently live, I am racialized as an Asian person. I am racialized as an Asian person to the extent that I was physically attacked on the subway in March 2020. So to be told that I'm not actually Asian at the same time that I'm experiencing anti-Asian violence is absurd and offensive.
And there are tons and tons of other examples of people who draw a person of color with the incorrect skin tone by subjective standards and get shit on in the public Twitterverse for it. And then there are people whose avatars don space buns in video games who don't happen to be white, who are the center of their own controversies as well. And all because the skin color ain't right. It is so bad out there that you cannot even compliment cosplayers without it being seen as a racial slight against an actress of color.
Hoes be crazy. Hoes be crazy. So I did this whole tweet about cosplayer that I like. I even had to go on freaking incognito mode so that way I could go show you all this because apparently me doing this tweet saying, oh, yo, I like this cosplayer, I think she's freaking awesome, equals racist. Equals racism. In fucking saying, let's go back. So look at like, two white cosplayers. I'm pretty sure she's freaking Asian or she's got some Asian in her. She looks kind of like it. I don't know. But then people are saying I'm racist. I didn't even fucking compare her to this chick. I didn't. Before all of this shit happened, I actually had forgotten this chick fucking existed and this show existed. Excuse you, but people have been losing their freaking minds. Absolutely been losing their minds. Hoes be crazy. They're insulting me. They're calling me racist. They're insulting the cosplayer. It's insane. It's insane. All because they don't understand that there's different versions of Starfire. Like or not, yes, this is a version of Starfire. I haven't watched the show. I don't really have an opinion on it. Again, like if all these crazies weren't coming at me today, I would have forgotten that this thing even freaking existed.
This is what happens when you only see skin color in a person. When all that matters to you is the color of a person's skin. When the entire being of a person is reliant upon their melanin content. When you are so obsessed with the in-group that you find yourself a part of, that you alienate others from you. You cause that disconnect, you cause that divide, and you cause everyone around you pain. It's no wonder that contemporary influences of Western thinking, like the ADL, have thus seen fit to redefine what it means to be a racist, because they don't want to be found guilty of the very accusation they fling around at others all goddamn day.